Hi, this is Dr. Mark Sena, and welcome to this edition of the Breakthrough Coaching Level Up podcast. This is the podcast that connects you to the people, the ideas, the strategies that help you bring your practice to the next level. I'm really psyched today to have Dr. Mike DeBoard with B3 Sciences with us today. If you haven't heard about B3, you're going to really understand how to rocket your results in terms of the rehab that you do with your patients to a level that you've never done before. So, Mike, thanks for being with me.
It's great to hear.
I
Good to be here,
appreciate it.
Doc. Thank you.
We were first introduced to each other to one of my favorite people in the world, Dr. Kevin Duncan, and he said, "Man, I met this Mike DeBoard. He's got this amazing technology." And I immediately thought of you and Breakthrough and the Breakthrough folks. And so, first thing Mike did was to send me a set of the bands. And there they are, exactly right. And these bands are what are called blood flow restriction training devices. And we're going to talk about what that is in a bit. What I can tell you, though, is within 3 weeks of using these, and I mean, I was using them 3 times a week during my normal workout time, didn't have to do anything special. I did do what you said and wore the bands out on the golf practice tee, and that was an additional plus. But I had lost 7 pounds without changing my diet, without really exercising any difference in terms of frequency or duration. And now I'm happy to tell you I am down. You mentioned I am a little bit trimmer looking. I'm down 16 pounds
Wow.
and I feel great. I fit back in my skinny clothes again. And am so excited to share this technology with our listeners. Let's talk a little bit about your journey, Mike. So, you're practiced as a chiropractor, I know, for many years before getting into B3 Science. Give us listeners a little bit of a background of your story.
Palmer 88 grad, took the first CCSP course out of Lombard, Illinois National in 89, practiced for 16 years, broke down physically. Why? Because I had been doing traditional exercise. I thought heavy weightlifting was what we're supposed to do. No pain, no gain. Go hard or go home. And,
Yes.
treating, I wasn't treating 100 a day, but treating 35, 40 patients. And doing that, my body started to break down. Well, by the time I got to 2004, I'd already replaced a joint. And, I took a different path. I just realized I couldn't physically do this anymore. Fast forward, after being in the health and fitness industry, I get a call from my friend, Dr. Jim Stray Gunderson. He's top Olympic trainer. Think Bodie Miller, Lindsey Vonn. He's in Japan. And he's a buddy of mine. He lives close, but he's, Mike, you ever heard of BFR? This is 2014. I'm like, no. He said, I figured out what the Japanese athletes were doing. In a
Wow.
couple of these sports, they were kicking our butts. And he's, by the way, on the doping committee. So he's testing and they can't find anything. And lo and behold, he catches them in a tent secretively, and they got these things on their arms. Well, he met
Oh,
Dr. Sato, who spent 40 years figuring this out. And he learned about blood flow restriction, which some of the docs are probably starting to hear about. Um, Fast forward, he brings it home. I had no idea I was going to start a business, but he says, Mike, I know you're beat up. And he says the magic words that every doctor is going to love. I know you've got some pain and right, workouts are hard. What if in 5 to 10 minutes you could do something super light? You were never sore, you never hurt, but your body changed like you work out for an hour. And of course, I start laughing, but then I got to check myself because this is Jim. This guy's as serious as they come. And
yeah.
so he says, I'm coming over. He comes over. He puts these bands on my arms. I'm like, okay. And he says, hey, grab those little pink dumbbells. I'm like, come on, Jim. I got 30s and 40s. No, grab the twos. I grabbed the twos. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And this is my face. And you remember it, Mark,
Yeah, I
right?
do.
At about 30 seconds, I'm like, what is going on? Your
Yeah.
brain goes, I know that feeling. That's the pump and the burn. That's what you get from the hard workout. But
Yep.
how in the world did you get here? It's crazy. It's like
Exactly.
the ultimate hack. So I start doing it. I switch from an hour workout down to 10 minutes. And at 52 years old, I got my six pack back. It's like you, Mark, the weight comes off, the six pack, the muscles, but I don't hurt. And I'm like, where'd the
Right.
shoulder problem go? Why
Yep.
am I sleeping like I'm 25? And then he explains to me, this is how you access your anabolic growth hormone,
Yeah.
right? Here's what the guys on the and the gals on the call will know. Average person goes in the gym, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's the burn stop,
Yep.
right? You get a little burn, and we all wonder why we really don't move the needle. We walk, we play some pickleball, but we keep losing muscle and gaining weight. Well, what's a elite athlete do? They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the burn. Okay, now we can get started.
Right. Yeah.
And a bodybuilder will go for 30 seconds when the doc and the average patient couldn't even begin to do it. So
Hmm.
now all of a sudden, you're producing fatigue like you're a bodybuilder or a 45-minute CrossFit hanging out with the 25-year-old fitness models,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you get the same result, but you don't hurt and you're not sore. And it blows your mind. And, for those on the call that listened to Dr. Mark's story, he didn't go to the gym for an hour. He didn't
Right.
lift heavy weights. He didn't crash diet. He just put the bands on and did something fun and easy. And his body changed like he worked out for an hour. And by the way, every time you do BFR, doc, you burn 600 to 800 more calories in the next 24 hours. There's the weight loss.
That's the
But
reset.
there's just so much more to it, right? But bottom line, we now can access the anabolic system, growth hormone, thyroid, IGF-1, all these anabolic hormones with just a fraction of the work. And so I launched a company, and here we are 10 years later, 80,000 people. But I love chiropractors. So as you know, one of the
Very
big
good.
things I do is I travel around and teach chiropractors. We've got about 800 now that have implemented it. About half of them have gotten certified, and I all say the same story, similar to you, right? I'm younger, I feel better, I'm stronger, my practice is better, I've got more energy, my patients love it, and here we are. So,
So this intrigues me is this growth factor, the growth hormone effect, because you're actually using the body's physiology, kind of hacking the body's physiology. Everybody talks about peptides and peptides that drive growth hormone and how great that is, and you're able to accomplish that without taking the peptides by doing this blood flow restriction. I think that's really cool. And I think it's very much in alignment with the chiropractic philosophy, right? You're using the power of the body to strengthen the body. I think it's extraordinary.
oh, absolutely. You know, and we know this as docs, we remember it, but you don't really remember it. You have growth hormone in your pituitary. It's just not getting released. At 40 years old, you're getting a third of the growth hormone you got at 20. That's
Yes.
your natural release, but it's still sitting in there.
Yep.
You can go get it, right? That's why a lot of people take the peptides and the precursors, try and get it out.
Yeah.
Although, they'll take some arginine, citrulline before they go to bed or they're fast. Well,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
that's kind of like a 20-25% bump in your natural growth hormone. Now listen to this. That's not bad. That's medically relevant.
Well, yeah.
The right kind of exercise or BFR is a 10x. We're talking growth hormone like you're an Olympic athlete. And the studies prove this. And I know because I actually measure blood lactate. And we
Yep.
produce blood lactate levels in people in 10 minutes that they get at the Olympic Training Center,
Yes.
right, with this technology. So the bottom line is, yes, Doc, you are accessing your anabolic system. Now, here's the thing everybody thinks. Well, I got to do the hard stuff. Well, when you approach it from first the stimulus and then the result, you don't quite understand it. So let's work backwards. Here's the result.
Okay.
The result is you're going to burn fat and elevate your metabolism. You're going to get stronger. You're going to build muscle. Your bones are going to be stronger, osteoporosis, thyroid healthier, joints
Yep.
healthier, immune system. That's an anabolic hormonal response. That
Yes.
comes mainly from IGF-1 out of your liver, which is also regenerative to your nerves, and
Mhm.
testosterone. Okay. Now, back up one step. Where'd that come from? Comes from growth hormone, which is the master hormone that turns all this stuff on.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Now, where do we get growth hormone from? Here's where people miss it. It comes from circulating lactate, lactic acid. It
Mm.
does not come from heavy weights. That's not the trigger. Your body doesn't go, oh, Dr. Mark, that's a lot of weight. Your brain goes, Dr. Mark, you got some lactate in your blood. That's my signal. Okay, now where do you get the
Yes.
lactate? Well, lactic acid is simply lactate and hydrogen ions coming from accessing the glycogen in your fast twitch muscles. Aerobic oxygen, anaerobic without oxygen, you're tapping glycogen
Yep.
or the sugar in the muscle. Okay. Now we'll go back to the story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the burn stop. The initial amount of lactate gets cleared in the mitochondria via the
Hmm.
inner lactate shuttle. And the endurance guys know this because they know that actually produces a third form of energy, right? For runners' endurance, lactate converted. But it
Yeah.
also clears it. That burn goes away. But if
Gotcha.
you create about 10 seconds or more of continuous lactate
Hmm.
from the muscle, like a bodybuilder will do, you exceed what's called lactate threshold. You're producing more lactate than the mitochondria can clear, and now it's into the blood. And it's easy. You can measure it. It's really easy. And now all of a sudden, the trigger turns on.
Yes.
That is where anabolic comes from. Now let's go to the tool. What do you use to get it? Because there's now two ways. You can do heavy weights. You know you're not going to get on the treadmill and go a yoga class and water aerobics and 2 pound dumbbells and get in the burn for 30 seconds. That's
Right.
called movement,
Yep.
right? So we typically use moderate weight, 60-70% of 1 rep max, right? And we do what we think is micro tearing. And yeah, there's a little inflammation, but you're using the heavy weight and load and time to go produce lactate. Now,
Got it.
BFR, and we'll get into it, is different. It doesn't use load, it uses metabolism of oxygen.
That's the
Remember when
difference.
the altitude trainers figured out you go up to altitude, there's less oxygen?
Oh, yeah.
Well, BFR does that in the muscle. And we'll get to it, but it lowers the oxygen. So
Gotcha.
now, as soon as you start exercising with a lightweight, which would never create any burn, it's too light, the muscle doesn't have enough oxygen. And the fast twitch muscles basically say, I'm going to jump in and help. It's a metabolic crossover
I
due to
see.
not enough oxygen. So
Gotcha.
back to my story and what you experienced, Doc, you're doing a lightweight and all of a sudden your muscles are all pumped and burning. The slow twitch muscles don't have enough oxygen. So we figured out there's a biological efficient way to hack into your fast twitch. That's why you're not sore. That's why you don't have pain. That's why
Yeah.
anybody can do it. And all of a sudden, it's like you trained like a bodybuilder and you produce all this growth hormone, and then you get the same changes as if you did it the traditional way.
And I'll tell you what, that impacts compliance because it's the soreness that make people, they get gung ho in the beginning, and then the next day they can't get out of bed and they're hurting. And what this does, especially in clinical practice for the chiropractors, where compliance, retention is everything, right? People
Hmm.
are seeing results, and results increase compliance, but also they're seeing results in a way that they've never seen before, that don't hurt, that are done in a short period of time. Right? People are busy. People like to be able to do this, and you can literally. stand up from your desk doing a Zoom and get your exercise in, session in, and still have amazing results. So, talk a little bit about integration into the chiropractic practice, because most of our docs in breakthrough coaching are active care junkies. They love active
Mhm.
care. Many of them have chiropractic technicians who do rehab. Some have physical therapists in practice who do the rehab. But talk a little bit about how integrating the B3 bands into the practice works.
Yeah, it's 3 steps. Number one, on your intake or at some point with your patient, you simply say, "What do you do for exercise?" And you note it. Now, you can continue at that point, or they can tell you, "Well, you typically get well, but if when." That's what they give you. Well, I used to, but when it didn't hurt, if I could get there and when I had enough time. So
Right.
you kind of keep track of that. But then you got a lot of athletes who are, they're pickleballers, golfers. So
Oh, yeah.
you keep that note. And then at some point, you say the magic words. Like I said to you, Doc, hey, what if in 5 to 10 minutes you could implement an exercise program that you can do anywhere and it'd be easy? And now go back and apply it to what the challenge was. That would allow you to get exercise so you didn't have to go to the gym for an hour. That would allow you to lose the weight. And then you apply it. Now, next step is they need education. What I don't want you to become, Doc, is somebody who's going to spend 20 minutes explaining this. Our 800 chiropractors don't do that. They
Hmm.
simply then refer the patient. Hey, I'm going to send you a video. I'm going to send you a link. I want you to take a look at this. Or they say, hey, here's a brochure on the technology, or here's a little book. Here's my QR code. I want you to go take a look at this. And some docs even play the video in the office. So they'll put them in a little
Yep,
education room,
absolutely.
have them watch it. Point being, our system educates them on what BFR is, and it takes about a 30-minute education, and they
Hmm.
come out of it going, "Oh, wow." And then they get it. And I mean, it's a no-brainer because it applies to whether they're exercising or not. And then most of your patients are going to end up putting their family on it. But next step, then, now your choice is, are you going to do it in clinic? And if you decide to do in-office rehab, what's great is it fits in seamlessly. You're simply going to do the same rehab protocols, but with
Hmm.
the bands.
Yep.
And I'll train your staff and work with your rehab staff. Or you say, hey, I'm going to prescribe this for you for home exercise. Now
Hmm.
let's go to the second step, home exercise. Here's
Yep.
what I don't want. I don't want you to become a personal trainer. I don't want them coming in saying, how do I put them on it? Our system then takes your patient and puts them in a very simple program to onboard them. They even do their first workout with me live. I do live workouts.
That's awesome.
And and then they're doing this at home. We handle how do you get the bands on? Am I doing it right? How long? We handle all that for you, Doc. And now you got a patient who's implemented a home exercise program, and they're going to absolutely love it. And it works in conjunction with whatever your goals are. Rotator cuff tendonitis, we got a program. Post knee, they come to you and they've got a post joint replacement that still hasn't healed. We got a program, right? They got low back pain, radicular pain, neuropathy. We
Oh,
got a
yeah.
awesome. This works in conjunction, laser, all these things you're doing will work in conjunction. Imagine anything you treat, and I explain it this way. Okay, you're going to treat your patient, but you're going to give them a little vial of growth hormone and you're going to have them shoot it and cheat. You know what's going to happen. The results are going to be way better. Well, we're going to go get it right here.
I
It's like
love it.
athletes. I tell them, well, how's this affect if I just do my same workout? I say, well, okay, do the same workout in March. Now in April, do it, and we're going to give you some steroids. What's going to happen? They're going to go, well, of course, I'm going to be cheating. Well, the cheating's right. We got it in the body.
I love it.
So it's like Dr. Mark, it's like he's juicing. He's just juicing on his own natural hormones.
That's exactly right. And most of our docs do both in office and the at home care as well. So just if you're listening, it doesn't have to be either or. They definitely have to do the at home care though.
Mhm.
No doubt about that. If you're a super busy office and you don't have the time to implement it, Get them doing it at home. It's a game changer, much more than any other rehab program that I've seen with home exercise. And again, go back to the C word, compliance, that this is something people do, they look forward to doing. You're absolutely right. The next thing is their spouse is doing it, and you get new patients that way. This is actually a great source of referrals for the practice as well. So in wrapping up, Mike, if you could share with us how our docs, we're going to have the information in terms of the link that folks can be in touch with you right along with this podcast. Uh, Give me an idea of what the next step would be and maybe the special offer that you have for the Breakthrough Coaching listeners.
You bet. So, what I say to all docs, today's not the day you implement it in your practice. Today's the day you get a set and you take it home. That's what all our docs have done.
Yes.
Schofield's done it. And I mean, Mitch Malley's doing it. All these guys, take them home with you and implement them in your, workouts, or
Yes.
do it right from the office. In about 2 weeks, you're going to get a similar experience to Dr. Mark. And then, right? Then we have a strategy call, you and I,
Yep.
about how you'd like to implement it. Now, one of the things I'm going to recommend you do is you get certified. You take a 6-hour online course at
Yes.
your pace, and I travel around, do it live, but you just take it online, 4 parts, you pass, and you will then be BFR certified. And you can even get somebody in your clinic certified. That is going to be important because you're going to know, how does it apply to osteoporosis? What does it do for long haul? How does it affect tendonitis? What's it do for neuropathy? You're going to have all these things understood. Okay. And then at that point, if you decide to get certified, we just have a strategy call and we talk about how you implement it. And you just tell me, hey, this is what I do in my clinic. It takes us about 45 minutes, and I'll walk you through all the steps of implementing it in your practice. And one of the things we're going to do for you as being part of Breakthrough Coaching is we're going to provide that course, which is normally close to $300. You're going to get that for free for coming through Breakthrough Coaching. So
Wow.
you get a
Thank you.
set of bands, get certified, then we'll have a strategy call and we'll give you tools for referring. And obviously, docs, just like a cervical pillow or a foot lever, there's a great retail profit that you're going to
Yes.
make on every set. And you can choose to inventory the bands. But what I encourage all the docs is you're going to have a link. Just send them to your link and let them buy the bands for home use.
Yep.
I'll handle the shipping, the money, the returns. We have a 30-day money back guarantee. I'll take care of it all for you.
That's
But if
awesome.
you want, you can also have them in your office, buy them at wholesale and sell them at retail. And then off you go. Now you got a tool that you can either implement in your in-office rehab. And I can tell you this, if you're doing BFR in your in-office, you are light years ahead of everybody in your area.
No
Because
doubt.
only about 20% of the PTs are doing it now, but every professional team has it in their training room. So now you're going to have a way to, advance your marketing for your clinic.
Big
And
differentiator. Yep.
and you can do it, you can prescribe it for home use also. And by the way, when Bill takes it home and he wants his kid to get started and he wants to refer his neighbor, you continue to make retail profits on, Bill ordering those bands. So it can continue to be just like if he referred somebody for some foot levelers in your
That's a
clinic.
great, great business model. I love it. Well, Mike DeBoard, thank you so much. Uh, Guys, if you haven't learned about this, as Mike said, the number one step, get a set for yourself. It is a game changer. I know that it'll absolutely transform the results that you're getting with your patients in the rehab, in your clinic, in your community. This is great. I know, Mike, you speak all over the country about the science behind this, and this is a awesome workshop, guys, to do in your community once you learn how to do it and the impacts and Mike, as you mentioned, the income as well.
Yeah.
So, Mike DeBoard, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Doc. It's great to be here.
And this is Dr. Mark Santa signing off for our Level Up podcast. I hope you make today an exceptional day. Bye bye.